Our guest today has had a very distinguished career in public service. Our guest today comes to her present post with more than 20 years of government service that includes service as an assistant corporation counsel, director of administrative adjudication, managing deputy director, Department of Revenue, director, Department of Revenue. She was an executive assistant to the mayor working on special projects. She was the first water commissioner in our city's history. She served as commissioner of the Department of Transportation. And in November 2000, our guest today was appointed by Mayor Daley to the position of Chicago City Treasurer. Our guest today is another shining example of the mayor nurturing top people. In 1988, she earned her law degree from John Marshall Law School and was admitted to the bar that same year. She is a graduate cum laude of Loyola University with a major in communications. As you can see, she is a person with impressive credentials and a record of superb accomplishment. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome back to the City Club of Chicago the treasurer for the City of Chicago, Judy Rice. Judy?
Thank you, Jay, and good afternoon. Many of you were at my fundraiser last Thursday, so you've kind of already heard this speech. So pretend you haven't and follow along. First of all, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank the City Club for inviting me to speak today at the luncheon series. This is probably the preeminent forum for the discussion of policy and politics in the City of Chicago, and I'm happy to be here. As a longtime member of the City Club, I'd like to acknowledge the support I've received over the years and through the many public sector hats that I've worn. And I'd especially like to thank Jay Doherty and Tom Coffey for their support and friendship over those years. Through most of my career, I was an appointed official and was lucky enough to have been selected by Mayor Daley to head several city departments such as revenue, water, and transportation. And when the mayor appointed me as city treasurer a little over 2 years ago, at first it seemed like another step up in my career path, not unlike my previous jobs. It wasn't long, however, when the full implication hit me that if I liked this job and wanted to keep it, I'd have to run for it, as in a political election. And yes, folks, I know it's hard to believe, but we do have an election on February 25th. But I have the very good fortune of running in this election unopposed. So if I lose, we know something went wrong, right? I guess elections can be confusing because it's always interesting to me when people come up to tell me that they voted for me the last time. It went over your head. But most politicians tell me I'm very lucky. As a matter of fact, a couple of months ago, one of our town's great political philosophers, Alderman Ed Burke, told me, and I quote, "I've been running for alderman every 4 years since 1971 and haven't had an opponent yet." Now let's see if you can copy that, Judy. In all seriousness, though, I think that the lack of significant political competition in the city elections this year is in large part a reflection of the job that Mayor Daley has done over the past 14 years. As Mayor Richard J. Daley once said, "Good government is good politics." And I think that is what we're seeing this election season. Speaking of good government, what I really came here to tell you about here today is the office of the city treasurer and what we do for a living. One thing I've discovered in talking to Chicagoans is that a lot of people just don't understand what the treasurer's office does. Too much of what we do is involved with finance and appears to be a mystery and unnecessarily complex. We've committed to fixing that by breaking down the mystery surrounding the office of the city treasurer, communicating with people so that they understand what's going on in the office that manages and invests all available city revenues. In keeping with that, I've broken down the work we've done in the last 2 years into 3 important priority areas. First and foremost, I work to protect our tax dollars. All of us work hard for our money, and as treasurer, I'm accountable for making sure that money is invested wisely. Second, I've worked to educate citizens about important financial matters. And third, I've used the resources of the Treasurer's Office to spur economic development in Chicago's neighborhoods. The City Treasurer's Office manages a portfolio of totaling approximately $4.5 billion, which includes the city's operating cash and bond funds, operating cash for the city's pension funds, and funds for the Chicago Public Schools. As City Treasurer, I'm also a voting member of the 4 city pension funds, laborers, municipal, police, and fire, which combined total approximately $12 billion. Unlike most municipalities that contract out for investment operations, we manage all of our investments in-house with a 4-person portfolio staff. This results in considerable tax savings to the City of Chicago taxpayers. We do use broker-dealers to perform our trades, and each December we issue an RFP to obtain brokers at the lowest possible fee for the coming year. We're also committed to trading with minority broker-dealers. Last year, over 38% of our investment business was conducted with minority firms. After I became city treasurer, I sat down with senior staff to discuss ways that the investment function could be improved. Issue number 1, on which there was universal agreement, was that the city's investment policy needed to be written into law, ensuring that everyone was on the same page when it came to investing the taxpayers' money. Our initiative was turned into law in February of 2001 with the City Council passage of the city's first formal investment policy. It legally authorizes the types of investments the treasurer may use to meet our stated objectives. The policy mandates that City of Chicago investments be limited to low-risk, conservative vehicles such as bank CDs, money market accounts, and government agencies such as Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Sorry, folks, no Enron, WorldCom, or Tyco for us. As a matter of fact, no equity investing at all. There's no question that these are the proper types of investments vehicles for a public sector treasurer, but it certainly made for a challenging year and for our investment section last year. In light of the continued economic uncertainty and the many rate cuts that have been enacted by the Fed, we've recently been averaging a return rate under 2% compared to the 6% average of a couple of years ago. Like everyone else, we hope the economy will turn around decisively this year. We've also made changes in the way the city pays for bank services such as check clearing, cashiering, credit card, and custodial services. The old system was one-sided. It was fine for the banks, but it was a terrible deal for the taxpayers. So we sat down with the budget office and came up with a new policy that's far more equitable and has freed up over $25 million that we were able to invest at market rates. A major component of the Office of City Treasurer, which I'm very excited about, really goes beyond our basic responsibility of investing, and that's the promotion of economic development in the City of Chicago. Economic development doesn't necessarily mean bringing big business such as Boeing aircraft to the city. The types of economic development initiatives I'm talking about are more grassroots in nature. Our focus is on the individual Chicago resident who lacks basic financial skills, and on small neighborhood businesses that need government assistance to thrive or even survive. We believe that assisting people at this level will ultimately pay dividends as big as having the Fortune 500 companies in Chicago. To this end, we've developed several programs that promote financial education and help small businesses. One program, which got underway in 2001, is a collaboration between our office and the City Colleges of Chicago. We developed a free course called Our Money Matters, the ABCs of Personal Finance. Through our research, I was shocked to learn that 36%, fully 1/3 of all Chicagoans, have no relationship with a bank or a financial institution. The implications of this are serious. Without a bank account, an individual has no way to finance a car or mortgage or a child's education. The lack of a bank account also prevents a person from participating in electronic banking, which is fast becoming the standard method of check transmission. So the time is fast approaching when a bank account will not be a luxury or an option, it will be a necessity. A savings or checking account is the first building block of financial security, and Our Money Matters classes are offered for free at all 7 of the city colleges, and participating banks recognize these certificates in helping people to open accounts. Since the program began a year and a half ago, over 1,200 students have completed the course and have received their certificates. And we've taken our Money Matters to the next level by offering all the classes in Spanish. Further, it's always been my feeling that if we're really going to break the financial cycle of financial illiteracy, we need to begin teaching money and personal finance at a much younger age. To that end, we're currently working with Arnie Duncan and the Board of Education to set up a pilot course of personal finance to be taught in Chicago's elementary schools, and we hope to make that announcement in the near future. In a similar vein, our office has worked closely with the Mayor's Office and the IRS and local not-for-profit tax counseling services in the development of the Earned Income Tax Credit Program. The Earned Income Tax Credit resulted from federal tax legislation designed to guarantee low-income wage earners a larger tax refund. One of the main problems is that few people knew about it, so many families were leaving money on the table. Last year alone, we helped 30,000 families achieve $17 million in tax refunds. A component of the program that I took a special interest in was a public awareness initiative regarding rapid tax refunds. Some commercial tax preparers don't explain to their customers that their rapid tax refund is really a loan, and a costly loan. Many people are paying 15% in fees to achieve this loan. The EITC program proved to be a great success last year, and it's even won 2 innovation and government awards recently, including one from the Chicago Sun-Times. The major change in this year's EITC program serves to bring all of our financial education efforts full circle. Banking services have been added to the city's free tax preparation sites, which allows an individual to get their taxes prepared for free and then apply for a bank account at the same location. As a result, the EITC recipient will get more than a tax refund. He or she will take the first steps toward financial freedom. Our financial education program has also focused on a practice that is potentially disastrous to its victims, and that's predatory home lending. This onerous lending abuse typically targets senior citizens and low-income and minority homeowners, convincing them to refinance mortgages with loans that are ultimately higher in cost than the original mortgage. It's unfortunate, but we could probably fill a room 10 times the size with senior citizens that I've spoken to who've been targeted by unscrupulous lenders and convinced to refinance homes with astronomically high interest rates. These people are our parents, our relatives, and our neighbors who've worked all their lives and paid for their homes. Now in the twilight of their years, they find themselves on a fixed income with limited resources and paying for a mountain of debt. When that debt results in a foreclosure, it impacts an entire community. The loss of a home often leads to an abandoned building and ultimately a decline in property values and quality of life for the entire neighborhood. Predatory lending is an issue that lends itself well to a public education effort because an informed citizen can avoid the problem by just saying no. We hope to work closely with Attorney General Lisa Madigan this year to pursue increased enforcement or stricter legislation as is deemed necessary. Another effort that received a high priority in 2002 is our linked deposit program, which encourages neighborhood economic growth by linking the deposit of city funds in community banks with the bank's promise to reciprocate with a loan to a deserving small business. The city treasurer's office currently has a total of approximately $20 million in linked deposit with community banks throughout the city. We plan to deposit an additional $10 to $15 million under the program this year. And one last new program that we initiated this fall is another effort designed to assist Chicago small businesses, the city treasurer's Small Business Expos. Small businesses are the backbone of our economy here in Chicago, making up 99% of all businesses. The premise of the Small Business Expos is to help current or prospective small business owners by getting them together with experts in fields critical to their success. We offered workshops on topics such as business planning, certification as a minority or woman-owned business, banking products and credit policy, marketing on a shoestring, and human resource issues, just to name a few. We believe that if we can help people that already own small businesses or those that would like to, we're getting to the heart of our economy. In closing, I'd like to stress that I regard partnerships with community leaders such as yourselves to be critical to the success of all of our programs. As an office with only 22 employees and an operating budget of under $2 million, the city treasurer's office can't do it alone, nor would we want to. The people in this room represent tremendous resources and potential, and I look forward to working with many of you in the future to fulfill the mission of our office. Thanks for listening, and be happy for any questions, Jay.
Great, thank you. I'm just gonna tell, yeah. Great, terrific. There is a microphone right there, so you can get on TV, ask your question, and all I ask is just state your name before you ask your question and go up to the microphone. I also forgot one good friend of the City Club. He's the Chief Operating Officer at Loyola, Wayne Magdars. Wayne, where are you? There, stand up, Wayne. He's about 6'5". No one can miss him. Thank you for coming. If you have a question, just go to the mic.
Judy, what about that write-in candidate?
Are you gonna be it, Tom? Right. You know, I think, as I said, it's important not to take the voters for granted, because people do take an election seriously and their elected officials seriously, and so that's something I feel strongly about, and I've tried to get out there meeting people and talking to people, and it's been a real good experience. Everyone understood everything I said, or you're already doing it?
Well, if there's no questions, then Judy, we're gonna, just along those lines, the treasurer told me that yesterday she made 16 campaign stops, to give you an idea of the physical grind of running for elective office. So, Judy, these are all within the compliance of all those ethics ordinances you passed over there. 1 year membership to the City Club of Chicago for Treasurer Judy Rice for outstanding. And you can drink out of the same City Club mug that the leader of the ticket, Mayor Daley, drinks out of.
All right.
Great, thank you all. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.